Japan is the land of the rising sun, where the future has already arrived. It is the birthplace of karate, anime, and, of course, robots. It's a country where people on average live up to 85 years, eat rice, and hardly ever age. It is also the only country where you can have an official marriage with a virtual person. Japan has gifted the world with beautiful automobiles such as Toyota, Suzuki, Honda, and others. Moreover, its economy ranks among the top 5 in the world. This country is known for its technology and automation, advancing rapidly with a population of 126 million people. And all this is happening on a small island. To live in this society, people have to sacrifice a lot. Undoubtedly, Japan is an amazing country. However, like everything good, it has a reverse, darker side. In this video, we will talk about that. Welcome, hustler, and enjoy the show. Let's start with the economy of this country. It is no secret that people in Japan earn very good money. The average salary in 2020 was $3,200 per person. Looking at it from the surface, it may seem like excellent money, and the Japanese don't have to worry about their financial security. However, things would be different if it weren't for several other problems. Due to the limited space in Japan, real estate in major cities is highly valued, making it nearly impossible for an average person to buy a property. As a result, 95% of the population in large cities spend their entire lives in rented apartments. Just to give you an idea, these are one-room apartments with an area of 12 square meters. Housing in Japan is very expensive, so a native resident has to allocate 60 to 75% of their salary towards rent. On top of that, the cost of living is very high, especially when it comes to food. When you add all these expenses together, there is hardly any disposable income left. An average family with one child spends around $4,500 per month on living expenses, and earning such money is not easy. The Japanese are willing to work 6 days a week for 16 hours a day, without sparing their health or well-being even from a young age. And it turns out that it's not just about the money. In Japan, it is a common belief that anyone working less than 10 hours a day is considered lazy, and their colleagues simply turn away from them. They are not accepted into their office clique, and subsequently, such individuals become outcasts. Therefore, the Japanese strive to work more and longer hours to earn not only money, but also gain a respected status in society. As a result of this social perception, a new term emerged in Japan over the past 20 years. It is called karoshi, which translates to death from overwork in English. This is a significant problem in the country. In 2000, the Prime Minister of Japan, Keizo Obuchi, died from overwork. During his 20 months in office, he had only 3 days off and worked no less than 12 hours a day. Another notable case in recent years was the incident that occurred in 2015 when a 24-year-old employee, Matsuri Takahashi, took her own life due to work-related stress. In her farewell note addressed to her mother, she wrote, "Why does everything have to be so difficult?" This death sparked many debates about work organization in the country. At present, every Japanese person is familiar with this term. Over the past 20 years, there have been numerous cases of fatal overwork in Japan, and the numbers are increasing. According to the law, companies that lose an employee due to karoshi, specifically death from overwork, must pay significant financial compensation to the victim's family. Some companies realized that it would be much cheaper to hire someone who would send employees home in the evening than to pay huge compensations to the affected families. Therefore, over the past decade, a new position has emerged in Japan, the person who escorts workers home in the evening. This job is also well paid. The essence of this role is to send employees home from work. As mentioned earlier, diligent Japanese individuals work for a minimum of 12 hours, and some even work for 16 hours a day. Therefore, it is not uncommon to see people sleeping on trains or even at their workplaces. And you won't believe it, but in Japan, this is considered normal. Sleeping at work is perfectly legal. When an employee sleeps at work, it means they are giving their work 100%. However, if it ends in death, it becomes a significant loss for the company. As a result, major companies decided to open positions for people who would wake up employees and save them from such fate. The salary for this job can be around $3,000, which is much more cost-effective than paying millions of dollars in compensation to the deceased's family. This is one of the ways the Japanese address the issue of overwork. However, due to such a lifestyle where work consumes almost the entire day, Japanese people have no time for ordinary everyday life. Most of them don't have friends, only those they work with. They don't socialize, don't meet new people. They just work constantly. Therefore, the problem of loneliness is prevalent in this country. In addition to all this, Japan has a significant gender imbalance, with significantly more men than women. As of 2019, married Japanese people aged 20 to 59 accounted for 54% of the total population, with women being 30% fewer than men. This statistics gave rise to another very interesting profession in Japan, known as rent-a-family. You won't believe it, but this profession is incredibly popular among lonely women or men who want to experience the feeling of being married, even if only temporarily. There are entire families where the client can customize all the parameters according to their taste. They can choose the number of children, whether they'll be boys or girls, whether they'll take a stroll in the park or have a joint dinner at a restaurant, and so on. Such families are paid by the hour, with prices ranging from $50 to $200 per hour. There are many such jobs in Japan. For example, there is the crying friend. The Japanese believe that shedding tears helps a person relieve emotional stress. However, the Japanese have turned shedding tears not just into a tradition, but into an entire industry of services. For $65, anyone can rent an attractive man with whom they can cry, and afterward, he gently wipes away their tears with a cotton handkerchief. Typically, the rented man brings heartbreaking videos, dims the lights, sits next to the client, and as soon as the emotional part begins, he starts crying inconsolably. Service users say that it is difficult for Japanese people to express emotions. They don't share their concerns even with their family members, and these services help them release accumulated sadness and emotions. Similar services have become popular even among large companies. They hire these services as training for their staff during group sessions. The crier stands on the side and personally wipes away the tears of all the participants. Another profession is the clubs for women in major cities in Japan. There are bars and nightclubs exclusively for women. They can order the services of entertainers or hosts. On the surface, everything looks normal, a group of girls sitting at tables with men next to them. They socialize, drink, and dance. There are options for one-on-one meetings as well, which resemble classic dates. The goal of these services is to make women feel like they are on a real date with an attractive man. The earnings of entertainers consist of a percentage of the total bill, making them more sought after and causing women to feel jealous. There is also work that involves managing multiple tables at once. However, this job has a dark side. Those men who don't earn a minimum of $4,500 per night have to clean the bar and mop the floors after it closes. This often happens in an intoxicated state, as alcohol is ordered by the client. Top entertainers can earn up to $800,000 per year. There are also professions like friend zone, sheepish guys, or rent-a-sister. There are services for apologies, solo weddings, when a woman marries herself, and many others. This is the unusual, strange, and unexplored world that exists. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel and share your opinion in the comments. This was the Hustler Channel. Until next time.